Hi, happy Monday. How are you? This is Mr. Paquette, week 3 of online English. I hope you're doing okay and that this method of communication is working for you. All right, this is just kind of a quick video. I kind of try to balance this video with the written instructions. Um, so I try to explain, these instructions as clearly as possible on the front end. Okay, so much of probably what you're doing now seems, in terms of the schoolwork you're doing, probably seems irrelevant. And it's true. Like we're in this kind of new reality, this new normal. And I'm looking at my notes here. I, however, think that reading just in general, I think is just like a form of an escape. But apart from that, I'm thinking of like what has helped me these last couple of weeks. One is realizing that rituals matter, and what I mean by that is like really getting up in the morning and even though you might not be seeing anyone, but getting dressed, nicely, and having some sort of structure, way of structuring your day. For sure, this is a stressful time, but I want you to know that I'm gonna be here with you. Available throughout the week, and so please communicate with me. You guys have been doing a great job so far. Okay, quick recap. I'm really liking some of the thoughtful insights that I'm seeing on the Teams forum, which I'm just now responding to. You guys did a great job with the Flipgrid. So I was nervous because I wasn't sure if it was going to work. And so I was afraid it was going to be just a technical catastrophe, but I was surprised to see how smoothly it went. And someone said that like you couldn't access the podcast through the tablet, maybe because it just didn't see it as a safe website or something, but it looks like most of you got to it anyway. Maybe used a different device. But I loved the Flipgrid because I feel like I learned so much more about you guys. I wanted to choose something that was lighthearted and not so much these days. So much I feel these days is so controversial, and I wanted to avoid that completely. And I wanted to choose something that everyone could relate to, and it wasn't that long ago that you guys were middle schoolers. And I loved how honest a lot of you were, just telling me that you really disagreed with kind of the presentation that you were given from some of these other young people, which is fine. Disagree all you want. Just tell me why you disagree, and you did that. Okay. And I did ask you to read and annotate, so I'm going to continue with that this week. But it is going to be a light week. I'll just say that up front. That's intentional, but not to be a week to be written off, because I feel like this week is a prep week for the week to come. So a lot of reading this week. We are going to do another Flipgrid, and getting into something called rhetorical devices. So I'll just dive in right now. Number one, rhetorical devices. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm almost done with these guys. They're heading off into AP world very soon, IB world. And so I wanted to pass on some important terminology that I think is going to benefit you. It's just language, information that you need to, have at your fingertips. When you're writing a paper next year, your junior year, you should be really familiar with these concepts. So what am I talking about? If you go to OneNote, click on the other tab. And oops. You should see something, if you click on the other tab in the content library, you should see something titled AP Rhetorical Devices and Terms. You'll see Dan Trotter wrote his name on this, so I got this from him. It's a long list of rhetorical terms and devices, definitions. So some of these you're going to like, oh, you're going to say, oh, I know that term. I know this term. Oh, I don't know that term. So a lot of it is just review, but it kind of goes on for days here, down to 73 terms altogether. What I want you to do this week is just spend some time reviewing the first 25. So I might quiz you on any of these terms, terms 1 through 25. So I didn't want to do all of them. That's a bit much, and I do want you to remember this and retain some of this. Okay, so that's number 1 on the rhetorical devices. Nothing written, just review it and know that a quiz might be coming next week. All right, a lot of reading this week. I'd like you to read book 2, finish book 2, chapters 10, 11, and 12, and then get into book 3, chapters 1 through 6, and please annotate. So we're not spending a whole lot. I mean, I think next week we are, the plan is to finish the book next week. So try to keep up. All right, and the Flipgrid. So I have put a link in the learning portal for this new Flipgrid. This one's a little bit more straightforward literary analysis. So it's not like a fun podcast. Here you're kind of showing off your understanding of one particular chapter and how a theme is operating in that chapter. I think you use the link, and then the code is the same one you used previously, Paquette B210. That should get you there. And then once you get there, you'll see the instructions. So try to get that in by Wednesday night, but maybe this time, because I saw a lot of you were viewing other videos, which is great, what I want. But use some of the feedback. You can like write comments and feedback to some of the other, when you're listening to someone's video, you can write some responses. So please take advantage of that. Okay, and then for my notes next week, there is going to be a quiz on book 2. Just be aware of that. And then we are going to finish the book next week. And then I'm probably going to assign a paper pretty soon. So we have next week, and then we're on break for Easter break. Of course, I'm hoping that you all show up to the live meeting on Wednesday at 8 a.m. But this time, join via Teams as opposed to that link I had at the top of the learning portal. I made the mistake of having the same link for the live meeting for all my classes, and so it was creating a big disruption for other people in different classes who were not in the scheduled meeting. But if you go to here, I'll show you. Oops, that's not what I'm looking for. Oh dear, dear. Where are you, Teams? Here you are. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go to period 1. Let's see. Here's the channels in period 1. Right here, the second one says go here to join a live meeting. Click there, and then you should see, see if I can bring this up a little bit. Bear with me. Okay, so you should, I can't seem to bring this up, but you'll see a little icon towards the bottom here of a camera. If you just click on that, you'll join our group's meeting. Okay, I hope this is helpful. Have a great week. Let me know if you have any issues. be healthy, 6 feet, sing happy birthday 2 times when you wash your hands, all that good stuff.